In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the Langtang Valley trek for a lot cheaper than what the guides are going to be offering. I was offered to do this trek for about $650. I'm going to see how cheaply I can do it for.
The bus ticket cost 1,000 rupees from Kathmandu all the way to Syabrubesi. It was pretty comfortable. We passed through many remote villages on the way. It was super interesting. The time was 7 hours and it flew as the views were absolutely spectacular. When I got to Syabrubesi, I went through all of my gear and made sure that I had everything for the trek ahead. I also purchased a map just in case I got lost while on this journey. I had a quick look over my route for the coming days. I began my trek the next morning. I hugged the river and made my way up the valley.
I'm actually quite surprised how much uphill the first day has been. I kind of felt like Langtang Valley wouldn't be as much elevation, but it's been about 2 or 3 hours of just walking uphill. Today was absolutely brutal, uphill all day, and in the next few days we're just going to continue on.
This guest house was located about 8 hours from the start of the trek.
I'm just after getting a bit of food. A hot shower was 300 rupees, and I think Dal Bhat is going to be about 600 rupees. I just went down, I just asked them for lots of food because I'm absolutely starving.
Day 2 began with more of the same, up the valley and hugging the river. In walking this trek, especially in the first 2 days, be prepared for a lot of uphill sections. I was having an amazing time making my way up the valley. The views at this altitude were spectacular.
The weather's starting to close in, so something that's important to remember is it gets dark around 6 o'clock and you really want to be at your accommodation at 5. Just to be careful, it makes no sense to be trekking at night time. It's dangerous. I did pass one checkpoint where they were checking the permits, but actually they were just like... It was a bit cold this morning at 7 a.m, but now it's pretty mild. I'm going to make my way to Langtang village.
Today was day 3 of making my way up the valley. I was hoping with one more push to make it to the end of the trail today in Kyanjin Gompa. I passed through Langtang village, the biggest village you will pass through on your way up the valley. At this point, on day 3, the valley was beginning to flatten out and the trekking was spectacular. I passed through many Buddhist shrines as this is the main religion of the area.
Absolutely amazing here. We got quite clear weather, but it does start to get a bit colder the later in the day as you go. This valley with all the yaks and everything is just amazing.
Shortly after Langtang village, I made it to Kyanjin Gompa. This village had many hotels to choose from. It even had one called the Himalayan Hilton, but I chose to stay in Hotel Mountain View.
That's nice.
Where this hotel is located is pretty much at the very end of the Langtang trek. So from here you're able to do many hikes, check out some of the lakes and some of the peaks. There's a peak that's 4,950 meters, also 4,700 meters that are the very popular ones.
Kyanjin Gompa was such an unforgettable place. To see a village so high and remote really was cool. I could feel the quiet and the stillness of this region.
It's amazing being up here, you know, it's just so quiet. It really just feels like kind of a magical valley. The weather is nice, it's quite mild. Now it does get really, really cold at night time, maybe dropping to -1 or -2.
I began the next morning my walk up Kyanjin Ri. This viewpoint at 4,700 meters was easily going to be the highest altitude I'd ever climbed to. The peak was very accessible and only took about 3 hours to reach the viewpoint.
I have just reached the summit of Kyanjin Ri, 4,700 meters. It's been extremely easy to do this on my own without a guide. Of course, there's always going to be a market for people who want to use a guide because it really is a great service. These people can show you around, make sure everything is safe, everything is organized. In talking about money,
I walked this trek for under $150. That's a saving of $450 doing it without a guide. In this trek, I spent 3 days walking up, 2 days in Kyanjin Gompa, and then 2 days walking down the valley. A breakdown of my expenses are $10 for the bus, shower and tea and coffee cost me $30, food worked out to be $56, accommodation $23 for 7 nights, and then the permit cost $30.
I'd like to say thanks very much for watching my video. I hope you learned about the trek. For me, it has been the best trek I've ever done in my life, the highest I've ever been, and with very, very nice and warm people along the way.